This is Hans Island, a small barren island that is made mostly of rocks. It has an area of 1.3 square kilometers and its highest point is only above sea level. And due to its location, it's usually covered in ice. So what is so special about this island that Canada and Denmark are fighting over it? And fighting in a very unconventional way. The dispute over Hans Island began in the early 1980s when Canada and Denmark were negotiating their maritime boundary in the Nares Strait. Hans Island was not specifically mentioned in the final agreement, but it was included in the unanimous understanding section, which stated that the two countries would consult with each other if either nation planned to take any action that could affect the environment of the island. Hans Island. Hans Island is a small uninhabited island located in the Kennedy Channel of the Nares Strait, the body of water between Greenland and Canada's northernmost island, Ellesmere Island. Hans Island is one of 3 islands in the Hans Archipelago. The others are Franklin Island and Crozier Island. Because of low average temperatures, the island is mostly covered by ice. Despite its small size and remote location, Hans Island has been subject to a territorial dispute between Denmark and Canada since 1984. The origin of the island's name is unknown. It might be named after Hans Hendrik, who was the second mate on board the polar explorer Jens Munck's ship, the Unicorn, which became trapped in the ice near Hans Island in 1619. Hans Hendrik may have been the first person to sight the island. Another possibility is that it was named after Hans Egede, a Danish missionary and explorer who sailed past the island in 1721. Others believe that the island was named by the Norwegian explorer Otto Sverdrup, who visited the area in 1900 to 1901. Hans Island was originally claimed by Norway as part of its territory of Erik the Red's land. However, following World War II, Hans Island was included in the Kingdom of Denmark's newly created territory of Greenland. When did it all begin? Denmark and Canada both claim sovereignty over Hans Island, as it is located within the territorial waters for both countries. The two countries have cooperated on Arctic issues and conducted joint military exercises in the region, but the territorial dispute over Hans Island has not been resolved. In July 1984, the Canadian government published a new map of the country that showed Hans Island as part of Canada's territory. Canada sent a military expedition to plant its flag on the island, leading to a standoff between the two countries. The Danish government responded by sending its own expedition to Hans Island, leading to a tense standoff between Canada and Denmark. And in 1985, the two countries agreed to resolve the dispute through negotiation. In 1988, they signed the Arctic Cooperation Agreement, which committed them to resolve their differences peacefully and without prejudice to their respective territorial claims. In 2003, the Danish Minister of Foreign Affairs issued a statement claiming sovereignty over Hans Island, and a Danish warship was sent to the island to plant a flag. In response, Canada dispatched its own warship and soldiers to Hans Island to reaffirm its sovereignty. The dispute escalated in 2005 when both countries began building military facilities in the Arctic. Denmark announced plans to build a new naval base on Greenland, just 60 nautical miles from Hans Island, and Canada announced plans to build a new military training facility in the Canadian Arctic. By 2007, the two countries reached an agreement to jointly operate a military facility on Hans Island, but the agreement was never ratified by either country's parliament, and in 2008, Canada and Denmark held joint naval exercises in the Nares Strait for the first time since the Whisky War. The exercises were seen as a positive step towards resolving the Hans Island dispute. However, in 2009, Canada announced plans to build a new Air Force base in the Arctic, just 50 nautical miles from Hans Island. In response, Denmark again dispatched its own warship to Hans Island to reaffirm its sovereignty. The most recent round of negotiations took place in 2012, when representatives from both governments met in Ottawa. However, no agreement was reached, and the territorial dispute remained unresolved. The governments of Denmark and Canada have conducted several negotiations over Hans Island, but no agreement has been reached. Each side has expressed a willingness to compromise, but there has been no progress in defining the terms of a possible agreement. What is on Hans Island? Hans Island has been a source of tension between Denmark and Canada because it is located near strategic shipping routes in the Arctic Ocean. The island is believed to contain large reserves of oil and gas, which is one of the reasons why both Canada and Denmark have been vying for control over the island. Hans Island is also thought to be rich in minerals, such as gold and silver, but there is currently no way to confirm these claims as Hans Island has not been extensively explored yet. Enjoying this video so far? Well, don't forget to click that subscribe button below. Subscribe to TechnoGlobal Innovations now. As the world's attention turns to the Arctic region, Hans Island has become a symbol of the race to assert sovereignty over the region's vast natural resources. The territorial dispute between Denmark and Canada over Hans Island highlights the challenges that countries face in resolving their differences in the Arctic. The future of Hans Island will likely be decided by ongoing negotiations between Denmark and Canada. In the meantime, Hans Island remains a source of tension between two otherwise close allies. The Hans Island dispute is just one of many territorial disputes in the Arctic region. Other disputed territories include the Northwest Passage, which is claimed by Canada but is also used by other countries, and the Mansav Ridge, which is claimed by Russia. The Whisky War. When the conflict started in the 1980s, whenever naval troops from each country would visit the island, they would plant their flags and leave a bottle of whiskey for their counterparts. The conflict came to be known as the Whisky War. Although no shots were fired, the incident garnered international attention and helped to raise tensions between the two countries. Though the Whisky War is often seen as a humorous footnote to the Cold War, it nonetheless highlights the tensions that can arise between two countries when their territorial claims overlap. Hans Island remains a symbol of this ongoing conflict and is likely to continue to be a source of contention between Canada and Denmark for years to come. The Whisky War ended in 2005 when Canada and Denmark agreed to jointly manage Hans Island. However, the dispute is still ongoing as both countries continue to assert their sovereignty over the island. Other nations have weighed in on the Hans Island dispute, with some supporting Canada's claim and the others supporting Denmark's. The United States, for example, has stated that Hans Island is part of Danish territory. Russia, on the other hand, has said that Hans Island belongs to Canada. Some countries believe that Hans Island should be jointly owned by Canada and Denmark, as it is a small island with no indigenous population. Others have suggested that Hans Island be made into international territory, managed by both Canada and Denmark. The Hans Island dispute is unlikely to be resolved anytime soon, as both Canada and Denmark have strong claims to the island. However, the two countries have managed to keep their dispute peaceful so far, and it is hoped that they will continue to do so in the future. Other territories that Canada and Denmark claim. Northwest Passage. The Northwest Passage is a sea route through the Arctic Ocean, along the northern coast of North America. It connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans and has been used by ships for centuries. The Northwest Passage is claimed by Canada as part of its internal waters. However, other countries have also laid claim to the passage, including the United States, Russia, and Denmark. The United States claims that the Northwest Passage is an international strait, and that it has the right to transit through it under the law of the sea. Russia also views the Northwest Passage as an international strait, and has established a military presence in the Arctic to protect its interests. Denmark's claim to the Northwest Passage is based on its ownership of Greenland. Denmark has said that it will allow other countries to use the passage so long as they respect Danish sovereignty. The Northwest Passage is a vital shipping route, and its future status will likely be the subject of ongoing negotiations between the countries with competing claims. The Lomonosov Ridge. The Lomonosov Ridge is a long underwater mountain range that runs through the Arctic Ocean. It is claimed by Russia, Canada, Denmark, and Norway. The Lomonosov Ridge was first discovered in 1838 by Russian scientist Mikhail Lomonosov. Lomonosov was the first person to discover the ridge in 1838. He was a scientist and philosopher who made important contributions to the fields of chemistry, physics, and astronomy. The Lomonosov Ridge is important because it contains large reserves of oil and gas. Russia has been exploring it for mineral resources since the 1950s. In 2001, Russia submitted a claim to the United Nations Commission on the Limits of the Continental Shelf to extend its territorial waters to include the Lomonosov Ridge. Other countries have also submitted claims to the Commission regarding the Lomonosov Ridge. In 2014, Canada submitted a claim to extend its territorial waters to include it as well. Denmark and Norway have also sent their claims. International law on territorial claims. Territorial claims are a contentious issue among nations. There are many international laws and treaties that govern how countries can claim territory, but the specifics of these laws are often hotly contested. One of the primary issues at stake in territorial disputes is sovereignty. Sovereignty is the right of a country to govern itself without interference from other states. When one country makes a claim on another country's territory, it is asserting its sovereignty over that area. There are a number of ways that countries can assert their sovereignty over a territory. One common method is occupation. A country may occupy a piece of land and then declare it to be part of its territory. This was how many European countries colonized Africa and Asia in the 19th and 20th centuries. Another common method of claiming territory is through treaties. Countries may agree to cede or transfer ownership of land in exchange for something else, such as money or political favors. This was how the United States acquired Alaska from Russia in 1867. There are also a number of international laws and conventions that govern territorial claims. The most important of these is the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, which was adopted in 1982. This establishes rules for how countries can claim sovereignty over a territory, including maritime territory. Territorial disputes often involve complex legal issues and can be difficult to resolve. They can also lead to tension and even conflict between countries. For these reasons, it is important to understand the international laws that govern territorial claims. In recent years, the island has become a symbol of the friendly rivalry between Canada and Denmark. Hans Island is a reminder that even in a world where borders are clearly defined, there can still be disagreements over who owns what. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to watch more of our other videos by subscribing to this channel.